Well, thank you all very much for being here this evening. I'm overwhelmed. I can't tell you how much it means to me to see so many good friends here tonight. I want to thank George for those very kind words. I especially like being referred to as a young man. I want to introduce my family to everybody. My wife, Norma. My son, Brady. My daughter, Conley. Well, I want to start by saying my name is Billy Conley, and I am here tonight asking you to support me to be your next councilman at large in the city of East Providence. Now, I know that some of you are thinking that the title of Councilman at Large is not a good fit for me. But I promise you I'm not as concerned about titles as the incumbent is. East Providence has been my home my whole life. I grew up in Riverside. I lived in the center of the city. I married my high school sweetheart, Norma Brady, from Kent Heights. And now I live in Rumford with my children. I think I know you well. And I think you know me. I've worked with most of you. I've played with a lot of you. I've coached some of you and your children. I've worshiped with you. I've laughed with you. And on occasion, I have cried with you. I share your hopes and aspirations for our community, our children, and our grandchildren. The current regime governing our city has made a mockery of our state motto of hope and our city motto of pride. It is time that once again we have hope for a better future for our children and our grandchildren. And we take pride in who we are, our talents, our skills, and most of all, our spirit to conquer adversity. The current ruling clique, Cusack, Larissa, Kacheri, CLC, get it? Click. The current ruling clique does not believe that we have what it takes to make our city great. They don't have hope for us. They don't take pride in our skills, our talents, and who we are. And because they don't, they told us what their plan for us is. Their plan for our future is bankruptcy. Do you believe it?
No.
They have written about it, they've talked about it, they've advocated for it. Now, let's pause and think about that for a moment. I stand before you this evening really as a job applicant for the position of council at large. Now, what if, in my job interview process, I tell you I've got a great plan for you? I've got the magic bullet. It's bankruptcy. Does that make sense to anybody in this room? You know, the next time any one of you go for a job interview, or one of your kids go for a job interview, tell them, or you go into the interview and you tell that company, hire me because I've got a great plan for your company. I'm going to drive you into bankruptcy. They won't be able to throw you out the door fast enough. Bankruptcy for our great city is wrong, it's immoral, and we will not let it happen. I've been a small business person in our city since 1982. I've had the privilege of representing many of our businesses, working with them. And I know what it takes to make a business work in the city of East Providence. Many of our people have told me that the political conflict that plagues the city council now plagues City Hall, and that it is impossible to deal with the gridlock that this city council has inflicted on our government. They tell me that they get the runaround instead of getting information. They tell me they get delay instead of getting permits. Essentially, what they get from our government now is they get the business instead of getting into business, and that has to change. Right now, the only growth business in East Providence is being a lawyer representing the school committee. That, by the way, that's a job worth millions. Our city council has purposefully created this culture of conflict because they believe that's what will keep them in control. The city council has promoted this tactic of strife and discord to our schools. Their strategy for control is to pit us against one another instead of having us work together to find solutions. We are no longer known around the state for striving to educate our children. Instead, we are now known for creating chaos in the lives of our children. We must refuse to give in to this culture of conflict and a future of bankruptcy doom. We will fight it, and with your support, we will win. We must reclaim our future of hope and take pride in what we know we can accomplish. We need to put we need to put the principle of service back into public service. Holding public office should be about serving you. Holding a position of public trust is a gift. Shouldn't be about receiving benefits at taxpayers' expense or satisfying personal egos. We all have difficulties and challenges in our life, and our city does as well. We cannot be wasting time arguing about what the correct title for somebody is who is quite simply supposed to be a public servant. During my campaign, I will be listening to you instead of talking at you or talking down to you or, talking to the camera. We want to be a wellspring of ideas. We can turn our energy into action that will make our city a great place to live and work again. We will be making proposals to meet the challenges and the issues that the current city council refuses to face and address. We can no longer afford to live in a city dominated by constant bickering that stifles creativity, prevents business development, impedes educational improvement, and really is known throughout